Hello everyone, Michelle Brienza here. When most people ask me about mortgages, it's always the same questions. Hey Michelle, are rates going up or are they going down? But here's the truth. The answer doesn't just come from the Bank of Canada like everybody wants it to. There are things that are happening right now in commercial real estate that is probably scarier than some of the stuff that was happening in 2008. Office loan delinquencies in the US have jumped past the financial crisis peak in 2008. And, if your heart jumped 10 times over the course of 3 years, you'd probably call 911. And that's what should be happening for office towers right now. And it matters actually more than you think. And so, the comparison of 2008 brings me back to my GE Money Mortgage days, because we saw the ripple effects in 2008, but the truth is they really began in 2006. So when you hear headlines today, remember a lot of what's surfacing up today started 18 to 24 months ago. And that is before Trump, before Mark Carney. All these patterns, they take a little bit of time, and here we are, right? So it's not something that's like, oh my goodness, this has been happening since the end of 2022. Office delinquencies exploded from 2%, and now they're like nearly 12%. And it's the highest in modern history. And there's two reasons for that. A lot of remote workers, they hollowed out a lot of the towers that we've got, and then refinancing, debt rolling from 3% to 7%. And we're not talking about $500,000 residential mortgages here. We're talking about millions of dollars in loan amounts. That's tens of thousands of dollars more a month. That's a big hit, ladies and gentlemen. And then here's the thing. Commercial real estate, it's not liquid. You can't just sell an office tower like you sell a house, okay? Values, what ends up happening is they grind lower and lower year after year until owners break. And this isn't a short-term correction. It's a wealth transfer, okay? Pension funds are being impacted. Regional banks take a hit. And there's big players like Blackstone who come in and they swoop it up and they buy these towers pennies on the dollar. And so you might be thinking to yourself, okay, Michelle, but what does that have to do with my residential mortgage that's coming up for renewal in the next 6 months in Canada while this is all happening in the US? Well, here's the connection, because, I like to put the connections. Where if there's a bank loss somewhere, they have to balance that somewhere else. And so, credit gets repriced, policies start to change, and lending and liquidity starts to change. So if you've tried in the past year or 6 months or in the last 2 years, you've already seen that, oh yeah, there's been some changes in the market. So if you're renewing in the next 6 months to 1 year, you want to start early. Don't call me 30 days. So, bonds which follow the benchmark for fixed rates, those have been a little bit volatile. And that's because the markets are taking into consideration what's actually happening. So the stress in the US office towers that are happening today is shaping Canadian renewals that's happening for tomorrow. And so this is exactly why I don't quote rates. I like to explain the why behind the rates. Because rates aren't just numbers for me. They're connected to policy, they're connected to markets. And yes, even commercial real estate. And these are not the stories that you see on CP24. So, like I've shared with you before, I've been in this business for the last 28 years, and I've personally purchased a lot of different properties, and I've built my business on by referral only. And my clients, they come to me because they trust me and they know that I connect the dots. I explain the bigger picture and I help them build a plan, not just for today, but for the future, because I believe that you can still build wealth through real estate if you do it properly. So here's my invitation. Please like and subscribe. That way you can get up-to-date information. I send out these videos once a week. And if you're a first-time home buyer that needs to buy, or there's great opportunities to be able to buy. But if you're refinancing in the next 6 to 12 months, you want to give me a call. And if you're ready to do any of those things, then reach out to me directly and we can do a one-on-one consultation and I can help you figure out what the next steps are. Please like and subscribe. I don't ask for very much, but I'm trying to build this channel as much as possible. And if I have some watches, some views, some likes, some subscribes, then hopefully people will start to see this a little bit more and I don't know, try to educate a whole lot more people, a few more people at a time. Until next time, be well.